Firstly, I saw that flash in the news as you were talking, as you were in the run-up to your commentary. There was a graphic which said, "Is it India's fifth war or something like that?" I just want to correct you there. Um, Kargil was a conflict. We've had three wars between India and Pakistan. Kargil, none of the countries have actually classified it as war. And what has happened now is not yet a war. What has happened now is we have actually struck at terrorist hubs, headquarters, and logistic bases, as we had promised we would do in response to the Belgaum carnage on the tourists. Thereafter, Pakistan has tried to uh, to go across. Just now, you heard the defense spokesperson. She also spoke. They put out drone strikes, and on a very large front. They've also started targeting civilians across the LOC because they don't have any terrorist camps to strike. So they are bound to strike or try for military strikes, military targets. Sadly, they are frustrated as they are. They're also killing a lot of civilians. We've had sad civilian deaths. Now, at this point, India has always been measured in its response. We have neutralized their strikes, drones, mostly drones, but we've neutralized their strikes totally. But their strikes are perhaps intended to be a probe. This on a vast front, when you attempt something like this, it is to probe the criticalities or strengths and weaknesses in our air defense system. So it perhaps could also lead to something bigger. However, all I would like to say that India has always been measured. We are not initiating aggressive measures, as it were, on our own. We are only responding to Pakistan because we've left the onus of escalation on Pakistan. We said our strikes on those nine locations were non-escalatory, no civilian targets, no military targets. So I think uh, that is where we rest now. I'm sure we are going to see more developments
Right.
as time progresses.
Right, General Dua, apart from the fact that those drones were surveillance drones that Pakistan launched, there were 300 to 400 Turkish drones which were also used by Pakistan against India. Your assessment of the situation with the fact that now Pakistan is using both China and Turkish-made equipment against India?
Turkey and China are the only countries that are actively supporting Pakistan. Pakistan is so isolated. I mean, their friends in the Middle East, everyone is shying away from supporting them because the world has come to realize that Pakistan is an epicenter of terrorism. Several countries have given statements. Even leaders have called up Prime Minister Modi after he made that speech in Bihar to say that we will get after the terrorists and their backers, we will not leave them. So, all in all, Pakistan is so isolated diplomatically, and of course, we've discussed, we are seeing how they are being isolated diplomatically more and more in the world bodies and the financial bodies, etc. Indus Water Treaty and all other notwithstanding. But coming back to this, so it is Turkish drones in a large measure. There are a few Chinese drones that have also been used. And in our response, we've managed to, as you heard the spokesperson say, we managed to neutralize all the strikes.
Right.
That is the power of our integrated air defense system. Either we've hit them, or we've jammed them, use jamming facilities, or they've had to withdraw. So that is where the situation lies as of now.
Right, I was just coming to the point you made there about India's impregnable air defense wall. The kind of response that India has given to Pakistan, the Indian armed forces have given. Do you think that India's response is perhaps a demonstration of our integrated defense system? And also moving forward, what should be India's military options?
So at the expense of a little bit of repetition, uh, Pakistan is actually trying to probe, to my mind, that's my view, trying to probe if there are any gaps in our air defense system that they could exploit. For instance, just to explain it to the viewers, we have categorically stated, a statement has gone out from Indian side saying that we have hit a few locations the air defense systems in few locations in Pakistan. Lahore, for sure, we have already neutralized. That is, the air defense of Lahore has been compromised. So, that kind of gap they have not been able to find. As to what are the military options, I think at present, our stance, that is to for layman, it is our attitude is non-escalatory, and I totally sort of endorse that. It
Right.
should remain that way. We are going to respond in kind, in a like we've been hearing often, proportionate response to Pakistan's strikes or any other aggressive measures that they may take. Because we have already left the onus of escalation on them. We are very confident. We are very confident that we can match them in any aspect or any dimension of warfare that they may try to impose upon us.
Right, General Dua. Absolutely, India has taken a non-escalatory stance. That was what Operation Sindoor was. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing insights with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, as India and Pakistan face off in a series of candid admissions, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has inadvertently exposed the nation's internal contradictions and its brazen stance on terrorism. His recent statements have not only contradicted the official narratives of the Pakistani military, but it has also drawn international attention. In his latest brazen statement, while speaking to a Pakistani media network, the Pakistan Defence Minister has said there's no option but a full-blown war with India. This despite India stressing that its military action has only been limited to Pakistan's terror infrastructure.
Are we staring at a full-blown war now, sir?
देखिए ये मेरा ख्याल है कि ये ऑप्शन जो है अब इसके अलावा अब कोई हमें अवेलेबल भी नहीं रही. We'll have to pay them back in the same coins.
Asif has exposed Pakistan's duplicity, leaving his own military scrambling for cover. First, Asif torpedoed his own army's narrative in parliament. While the Pakistan military claimed to have downed Indian drones, Asif bluntly admitted they had not intercepted any. Why? We did not want to reveal our air defense locations. That's what he said. A confession that not only ridiculed the army's bravado, but also confirmed India's precision strikes, which had exposed and destroyed Pakistan's air defenses, including the prized military system in Lahore. In one stroke, Asif shredded the Pakistan Army's propaganda.
In the night, an armed UAV of Pakistan attempted to target Bhatinda military station, which was detected and neutralized. In response to the Pakistani attack, armed drones were launched at 4 air defense sites in Pakistan. One of the drones was able to destroy an AD radar.
Then came another bombshell. Standing in the National Assembly, Asif declared madrasa students are our second line of defense. When the time comes, they will be used as needed. With these words, he ripped away Pakistan's mask, confirming what the world has long suspected: Pakistan's so-called religious schools are actually a pipeline for terror, not education. And this is not just a slip, it's an admission of the state's complicity in nurturing terror. Perhaps the most revealing was Asif's acknowledgement of Pakistan's historical support for terrorist groups. In an interview on the 25th of April, he admitted on live television that Pakistan had engaged in dirty work for Western powers, including the United States of America and Britain, by supporting and funding terror organizations over several decades.
You do admit, sir, that Pakistan has had a long history of backing and supporting and training and funding these terrorist organizations.
Well, we have been doing this dirty work for United States for about 3 decades, and West, including.
Finally, when grilled about Lashkar-e-Taiba and its proxies, Asif insisted LET does not exist in Pakistan anymore. It is extinct. That's what Pakistan's defense minister said. The world knows better. Asif's denial flies in the face of the images of state honors for the killed Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists who were eliminated by India in its May 7 strikes on the terror bases in Pakistan, including the LET's known headquarters at Murid K town in Pakistan's Punjab province. And news coming at this point of time from Jammu and Kashmir. Sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city and Samba. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has urged people to stay off the streets and ignore unverified information and remain calm as well. According to defense sources, there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot in Punjab as well. And Srinagar has also been put on alert. And that's the news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city and Samba. According to defense sources, there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot, also in Punjab, Pathankot in Punjab as well. And remember, this comes after yesterday. There were swarms of drones that were sighted in Jammu city. And that's the news coming in. As you can see on your screens, there's a complete blackout in Jammu city, and there are also Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot in Punjab as well. Remember, yesterday there were swarms of drones that were launched by Pakistan in Jammu city, and the aim was to target military camps in Pathankot, Jammu, Bhatinda as well. And well, for more on this, and joining us on the phone line right now is our special correspondent, Idris Lone. Idris, what's the on-ground situation right now? Because according to information trickling in, sirens and sounds of explosions are being heard in Jammu city and Samba. Tell us more.
Well, absolutely, Rahesha. It's exactly like yesterday, Jammu city, not only Jammu city this time, but also Samba and Pathankot, where Pakistani drones have been sighted. We could hear in Jammu blast sounds were heard, at least 3 of them in Jammu city, while as alert has been sounded all across Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Srinagar has also been put on alert, while as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir also tweeted just a while ago and said that intermittent sounds of blast, probably heavy artillery, could be heard from where he is. He's in the center of the Jammu city, let me tell you that. And he has also asked people to basically stay away of the streets and stay at home because this drill was done yesterday also. Jammu and Kashmir police and other security agencies had asked people to stay indoors and observe a complete blackout. And that's what we're seeing again across not only Jammu city, but different parts of Jammu division like Samba and Pathankot as well, where there is a complete blackout now, drone sightings at multiple places. And let me tell you that there are ceasefire violations reported from at least 5 places on the line of control and international border as well. If we talk about northern part of Kashmir, there is massive artillery shelling being done by Pakistan Army in the Kupwara district as well as in Baramulla and Udi district. On the other hand, if we talk about Jammu, we already know that there is a ceasefire violation taking place at 2 places at the moment, and that is why that there has been an alert issued all across Jammu and Kashmir and the bordering states
It's like yesterday at the same time, there were drone sightings in the Jammu city, and right now as well, drones have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. And according to information coming in, all these drones are being engaged. Tell us more.
Well, former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir has also just tweeted and said that the bombing has started again tonight in Jammu, another night of our fight against terrorism. We saw yesterday there was a barrage of drones that were shot by the Pakistani army towards the Jammu city, targeting the military installations as well as Jammu airport. But all of that was foiled and thwarted by the air defense system, and that's exactly what is happening at the moment as well. We are seeing that the air defense system is working, and these sightings of the drones in the air. There were a couple of blasts that were heard basically in Jammu city. The Indian Army has also confirmed that drones have been sighted just now in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot, and they're being engaged. That's the message that the Indian Army has sent across just now, saying that drones have been sighted at Jammu, Samba and Pathankot, and they are being engaged, which means the air defense system is in place and it's working. But on the other hand, blackout all across these places, whether it's Samba, whether it's Jammu or whether it's Pathankot, everywhere there is a complete blackout. People have been advised to stay inside, follow exactly the same drill they did yesterday, preferably stay in the ground floors with no lights on, no inverter lights, nothing at all, complete pitch dark and silence. And there have been multiple blasts that have been heard at different places, but it seems that it's the air defense system that is working in thwarting and in foiling the attacks from these drones.
Getting us those updates from on the ground. Yes, please go ahead with this.
Srinagar has also been put on high alert. There have been sirens that have been heard in different areas across Srinagar as well as other parts of the Kashmir Valley. Let me tell you that in North Kashmir, we've heard that there has been ceasefire violation yet again at different locations. We already knew ceasefire violation. And now we've heard that there is massive shelling from the Pakistani side, carrying Pakistani side in the Kupwara district, in Tangdar area, where we saw that there was massive damage done by the heavy mortar shelling that was done by the Pakistan army from the last 2 consecutive nights. And now it spread to different areas all across the line of control and international.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind. Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at wion.com.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world.
Thanks for staying on with us. These are the breaking developments that we are getting to you right this minute, coming in from Jammu city. Sirens and sounds of explosion being heard in Jammu city and Samba is what we know at this point. In fact, the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has urged people to stay off the streets and ignore unverified information and remain calm at this point. And according to defense sources, there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot as well. Srinagar has also been put on alert. That's the latest coming in at this point as we continue to monitor the latest images that we are getting to you as well from on the ground. This is what things have been looking like in Jammu and Kashmir, where sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city, also Samba. And people have been asked to stay off the streets and remain calm. Remember, it's also important to highlight how it's necessary to not look at or trust unverified information and ignore any such unverified information. And that's the word coming in from the authorities at this point as well. Also reiterating that there is no need to panic and it's important to remain calm at this point. What we do know through defense sources is that there are Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. Let's go across to Siddhant Sibul, who's been tracking those developments as well. Siddhant, what more can you share with us at this point?
Well, a day of rapid development, and it looks like it could be another night of rapid development, evolving development. We'll first start by telling our viewers to stay calm in the regions of India where the attack is underway. We know that Jammu city is right now witnessing a blackout and sirens are blaring. In fact, the Chief Minister of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah, has tweeted a picture of a blackout in Jammu. There are cities in Punjab bordering bordering Pakistan, like Amritsar, where drones have been also seen. Now, essentially, there is an escalation by the Pakistani side for the third night, it looks like, in a row in a major way. And what we know, earlier today, there was a briefing by the Indian Foreign Secretary where he pointed out that how, in fact, not only the Indian Foreign Secretary, but the women personnel, military personnel, they pointed out the details of the attack yesterday, where approximately 300 to 400 drones attacked India from Leh to Sir Creek in Gujarat and also Rajasthan, Punjab and other areas. Now, essentially, this is an escalation by the Pakistani side. We know that the Indian side also was able to strike in 4 places in Pakistan yesterday night, and we have seen a lot of warmongering commentary coming from Pakistan as well, while the Pakistani military, of course, it looks like set the ball rolling of this conflict with the terror attack that happened in India, in Pahalgam. We know that we saw the visuals of the terrorists, US listed terrorists, along with Pakistani army personnel being part of state funerals for terrorists being organized after India strikes on terror camps in Muridke and Bhavalpur. Now, we know that India, when it struck in the aftermath of the attack of Pahalgam by Pakistani terrorists. India had struck 9 places, including in POK and in Pakistan. But it was a deep strike inside Punjab that really shook the Pakistani leadership. Now, focus, of course, India since then has been saying that it was a measured, it was a very precise strike that was taken, and India said that if there is an escalation, India will be giving a firm response. But all in all, it could be a long night for people in border areas like Jammu, where the attack, it looks like, is underway. We are looking for, we are getting more details, but of course, we know that this is a conflict, and we in WION believe in responsible reporting, and essentially, as and when details come, we will be sharing those details. We also know that the Indian defense sources have just told WION that the drones are being engaged by the Indian side. We know that yesterday the drones which made the strikes were of Turkish origin. This is something that India has officially confirmed, that it was Turkish origin. That shows how Turkey is backing the Pakistani leadership, the Pakistani establishment, who of course are single-handedly responsible for terror strikes in India.
Indeed, important to also remind our viewers, as we were just discussing, it's absolutely essential to remain calm and ignore any unverified information. These are, and also important to highlight how these are the deferred images that have been coming in from the area. Remember, these blackouts in place in Jammu and Kashmir. We are also talking about how India is intercepting the Pakistani drone fire. We do know at this point that sirens and sounds of explosion has been heard in Jammu city. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister also urging people to stay off the streets, but also not panic and remain calm. This, of course, looks like the beginning of a repeat of what we witnessed just 24 hours ago, where Pakistan unleashed that round of aggression. Let's go across to Idris Lone as well, who's been getting us a better sense of what things have been looking like on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir. Idris, go ahead. What more can you tell us at this point?
Well, Molly, multiple blasts have been heard in Jammu city. There's an alert that has been sounded all across Jammu, Samba, as well as in Pathankot. There's a complete blackout that people have been asked to observe because there have been drone sightings that have been confirmed by the Indian Defence Forces, and they're being engaged at the moment, which means that the air defence system is in place, and none of the drones have basically caused any kind of damage. They are being neutralized, they are being thwarted, the attack is being thwarted in the air only. But the blast sound is creating a lot of panic among the people, because it's exactly like yesterday when people were in Jammu city, and at that point of time it was very surprising. But today people were a little prepared go into their houses before it was dark, especially in cities like Jammu as well as in Srinagar. Now what we are hearing is in Srinagar also there has been alerts all across the city, and especially in Baramulla, Kutwara, Bandipora, which are the areas very close to the line of control. While there is an attack of the drones in 3 parts of Jammu, in Samba, in Jammu city as well as in Pathankot, there is also ceasefire violation that has been done by the Pakistani army exactly on the same pattern as yesterday at multiple places across Jammu division as well as the Kashmir region. Also from northern part of Kashmir in Kupwara as well as in Baramulla and Uri, there has been heavy artillery that is being used by the Pakistan army, not only to attack the Indian armed forces and their installations, but also the civilian houses. Most of the people in these areas were shifted during the day today by the authorities, state administration. They were asked to move out of their houses. Some of the people were still living in the bunkers, but they were also asked and advised not to stay in those bunkers and get out of these places and have been moved to the safer places. While as in the Jammu division also the similar thing was done. We saw Chief Minister Omar Abdullah moving from Srinagar to Jammu today, where he met with the injured people from the Poonch sector who had been injured the ceasefire violation, where around 60 people were injured in the attack from the Pakistani side when at the Poonch sector. Let me tell you that 16 people were also killed. Civilians were also killed, which included women and children in the Poonch sector due to these ceasefire violations in the last 2 days. So at the moment, exactly the same pattern as yesterday's, where Pakistan Army resorted to ceasefire violations at multiple locations across line of control and international border. And with that, along with that, we're seeing that drones being pushed yet again across various areas in the Jammu division, whether it's Jammu City, Samba and Pathankot, but all of them being intercepted, all of them being engaged as well as neutralized. So far, there has been no report of any damage. While we also saw Chief Minister Omar Abdullah making an appeal to people to stay calm and stay off the streets and stay at their homes. That was the message that was sent by the Jammu and Kashmir Police yesterday also, to observe blackout and also be inside your houses, and there is no need to panic. Security forces are dealing with these drone attacks, and there is no need to panic, and people should stay inside. They'd also said to observe complete blackout, especially in these areas where these drones have been seen. People have been advised not to put on the lights and not use even inverters or small lights in the areas. So complete blackout. Now we are also seeing some of the areas in Srinagar also starting to observe the blackout as well. Yesterday we saw for at least 4 to 5 hours the blackout continued. The attack was for an hour. So it seems like today is also going to be a long night, because especially for the people who live close to the line of control where these attacks are taking place.
Right, stay with us, Idris, and stay safe. These are the continuous sounds and the loud bangs that are being heard. This is what things have been looking like on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir as Pakistan unleashes aggression yet again, a second consecutive night. Remember, just 24 hours ago, around the same time, is when Pakistan unleashed that aggression. And this time, we are getting in the latest details that have been coming in of sirens and sounds of explosions being heard in Jammu city. Pakistani drones that have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot. Srinagar has been put on alert, and we also know at this point that civilian flight operations will remain suspended at Srinagar airport till midnight of May 15. Let's also just apprise our viewers of the statement, the appeal that was put out by Omar Abdullah just a short while back. I'm quoting from it. It's my earnest appeal to everyone in and around Jammu. Please stay off the streets, stay at home or at the nearest place you can comfortably stay at for the next few hours. Ignore rumors, don't spread unsubstantiated or unverified stories, and we will get through this together. That's the message coming in from Omar Abdullah. Drones have been sighted in Jammu, Samba, Pathankot, and they are being engaged as Srinagar remains on alert. This is what the situation is looking like. We also know of the blackout in Pathankot and Anandpur Sahib, Punjab. In fact, the blackout in Samba area as well, a complete blackout there. Let's also remind our viewers and reiterate that there is no need to panic. It's important to stay calm at this point, and that's the word coming in from the authorities on the ground as well. Let's go back across now to Idris Lone, who has been giving us a sense of what things are looking like on the second consecutive night of Pakistan unleashing this kind of aggression. Idris, if we just talk about what things have looked like on the ground in the last 24 hours and what people have had to go through and that nightmare continues.
Well, absolutely, Molly. It's definitely going to be a long night and a very difficult one, because we did see what people went through yesterday all across Jammu and Kashmir and other states of India as well, which basically have the border with the Pakistan. If we talk about Srinagar, Molly, right now there is a complete blackout that is being observed in Srinagar and other parts of North Kashmir now. There are sirens that have been alerted all across Srinagar city as well, and people have been advised to stay indoors. While as there have been multiple blasts that have been heard in Jammu city, in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot, the defense forces are saying that they are engaging the drone attacks that are coming from Pakistan. All of them have been neutralized, thwarted at the moment. There has been no damage at all, but the blast sounds can be continuously heard in the skies all across Jammu division, especially in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. On the other hand, people have been advised, the Chief Minister as well as the Jammu and Kashmir Police and other security agencies have advised people to observe complete blackout all across the cities which are coming under attack from the Pakistan Army. They've been told not to venture out, stay indoors, and also keep the lights off, not use any inverters, not use any lights, and preferably all the people should be staying in the ground floors of their houses and not on the top floors of the buildings or the houses. On the other hand, we did see that Pakistan also engaging at the same time in ceasefire violations. There have been multiple ceasefire violations coming from across the border at different locations, not at one location, but multiple locations in northern part of Kashmir, as well as in the Jammu division. We've seen in Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri sector, Kralpura, Tangdar, Karna. We've also seen in Jammu's region, it has been Poonch, Naushera, Rajouri, Samba, Aknoor, where not only small arms firing is going on, but heavy artillery is being used by the Pakistan exactly the same way as they were doing yesterday. They were engaging Indian security forces in these ceasefire violations at multiple locations, and that was the exact time when they also launched these drones in the sky to attack Jammu city. And today it's not only Jammu city, but it's Samba as well as Pathankot where they are shooting these drones too. On the other hand, we've seen that there was an infiltration bid also, which was foiled by the border security forces on the international border, where 7 terrorists were killed by the border security forces who were trying to infiltrate. And that was also the time when Pakistan Army was breaking the ceasefire, giving a cover fire to those terrorists who were trying to infiltrate into Kashmir territory. So multiple engagements by the Pakistan Army, and definitely wanting to escalate the situation across the line of control and international border. But security on high alert across Jammu and Kashmir. Alert has been sounded. Now Srinagar also under blackout, and different parts of North Kashmir also have been advised to observe blackout and stay indoors. People have been asked not to basically, there is a lot of rumor mongering also happening all around, or especially on the social media. People have been asked not to panic and stay indoors, stay calm, and that's what we're observing in Srinagar right now as well. There's complete silence, pitch dark all around, especially in the areas around the Srinagar airport. And in Jammu right now, multiple blasts being heard in the skies. Seems like the air defense system is working fine. All the drones which are coming from across the border are being intercepted and neutralized, while as people stay indoors and the blackout continues.
Indeed. We're leaving it there for the moment, Idris. Stay safe, and thanks very much for getting us a better sense of what things have looked like on the ground. On your screen also is the statement that's been put out by Omar Abdullah, a very important message coming in about ignoring rumors and staying calm. And we will continue to keep a close eye on the latest coming in. We just told you about the situation on the ground in Jammu and Kashmir and different parts of the country. More escalatory moves coming in from Pakistan. Pakistan may have started it, but India is now prepared to end it on its own terms. On the night of May 8, between 8 p.m. and 11:30 p.m., Pakistan launched a fresh round of aggression. The Pakistan Army fired hundreds of drones at Indian cities, military bases along the Western Front. Not just that, the terror state fired high-caliber weapons across the line of control, deploying 300 to 400 drones, in fact. What were the targets? Civilian infrastructure across Gujarat, Punjab, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, along with strategic military infrastructure. But India's response was swift and decisive. Every single drone that was launched by Pakistan was intercepted or neutralized by India's advanced air defense systems. The night sky was lit up with explosions as Pakistani drones were taken down. Air raid sirens blared across different parts. Blackouts were enforced as a precautionary move. India did not waver, and the Indian air defense grid held absolutely firm. According to the Indian Armed Forces, Pakistan's objective was twofold. It wanted to test India's air defense capabilities and gather intelligence on strategic sites.
इतने बड़े पैमाने पर हवाई घुसपैठों का संभावित उद्देश्य वायु रक्षा प्रणालियों का परीक्षण करना और खुफिया जानकारी इकट्ठा करना था। ड्रोन के मलबे की फोरेंसिक जांच की जा रही है। प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट्स से पता चलता है कि वे तुर्की के असीस गार्ड सोंगर ड्रोन्स हैं।
The Indian Army also confirmed major violation of the ceasefire by Pakistan at the line of control. So not only did Pakistan deploy drones, but also continued arms and artillery fire. But India's response was calibrated and powerful. India also inflicted heavy damage on Pakistani military positions. Air defense radars were jammed and multiple systems on their side were rendered useless.
Did not close its civil airspace despite it launching a failed unprovoked drone and missile attack on 7th May at 8:30 hours in the evening. Pakistan is using civil airliners as a shield, knowing fully well that its attack on India would elicit a swift air defense response.
The debris, in fact, that came in from the downed drones. In fact, the debris from the downed Pakistani drones is being examined, including the wreckage recovered in Amritsar. And this will form part of India's growing dossier linking Pakistan's deep state to cross-border terror. These drone attacks started just hours after Operation Sindoor, India's precision strikes that destroyed 9 terror headquarters in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Importantly, Operation Sindoor did not target Pakistani military installations. It was a measured and focused retaliation. But Pakistan's response was reckless and escalatory. At the ground level, infiltration attempts continued. India's border security force foiled a major infiltration attempt in the Samba sector. But even as India battled Pakistan's nefarious designs on land and in the air, another war was underway online. A coordinated misinformation campaign by Pakistan that claimed India targeted places of worship, including the sacred Nankana Sahib Gurdwara. But India flatly denied these lies. In fact, India's Foreign Secretary has called it a desperate bid by Pakistan to incite communal tensions.
We have seen the Pakistani side targeting and shelling places of worship with a particular design. This includes gurdwaras, these convents and temples. This is a new law even for Pakistan. In addition, that we would attack our own cities is the kind of deranged fantasy that only the Pakistani state can come up with. Pakistan is again trying desperately to impart a communal hue to the situation with an intention to create discord. Again, we are not surprised. India's steadfast unity in itself is a challenge to Pakistan. Let me stop there. I have
India's skies are secure. Its airspace is under full control and Pakistan's lies stand exposed. India remains united and that unity may be Pakistan's greatest defeat. When innocent blood was shed in Pahalgam, India's response was swift. But few understand the shadowy hand that was stoking the flames across the border. That hand belongs to General Asim Munir, Pakistan's army chief. A man whose rise is steeped in religious zeal, personal vendetta, and a dangerous brand of Islamist nationalism. You see, Munir is not just another uniformed strongman. He is the architect of Pakistan's latest surge in hostility. The jihadi general who wears his ideology on his sleeve and wields it as a weapon. Munir's story is one of ambition, calculation, and cold fury. Imran Khan once cleared his appointment as the head of notorious Pakistani spy agency, the Inter-Services Intelligence, the ISI. But then the Pakistan Prime Minister sacked him 9 months later after learning of Munir's ambitious agenda. Pakistan has been under direct military rule for approximately 32 years. In the 75 years of its existence. For every Pakistan Prime Minister, there is always a clear and present danger of a coup by the military. Munir never forgot the humiliation. When the army orchestrated Khan's downfall in 2022, Munir's ascent was unstoppable. And within months, he had his former boss jailed, proving that crossing him comes at a steep price. But Munir's real power lies not in political intrigue, but in his ability to fuse faith and force. Raised in a deeply religious family, he studied in Rawalpindi's madrasas. Munir is the first Pakistani army chief since Ziaul Haq to openly invoke Islamist nationalism as state policy. He peppers his speeches with Quranic verses, recites prayers in public, casts himself as the savior of Pakistan's Islamic identity. His rhetoric on Kashmir is incendiary, invoking the two-nation theory and promising eternal struggle. A signal to every jihadi proxy that the old playbook is back. Munir's fingerprints are all over the current escalation. His provocative speeches before the Pahalgam massacre set the tone. Under his command, the army has doubled down on pushing terrorists across the border into India. Under his command, a rattled Pakistani army is unleashing heavy artillery on Indian civilians along the line of control. Munir's rise is a warning. He is not a leader. He is a tactician who says India is not a neighbor but an existential enemy. And the reason is his personal ambitions to keep fueling trouble, keep portraying India as an enemy, and in the process, try and grab more power, even at the cost of the destruction of his own country. Under his command, Pakistan's military doctrine is once again shaped by jihad. It is not the sign of a professional military. The world should take note. Asim Munir is not just fueling tensions, he is building a fire that could consume Pakistan itself. And I earlier spoke to India's former Northern Army commander, Lieutenant General D.S. Hooda. What is his assessment of the current situation and what can be expected from Pakistan now? This is what he had to say.
So look, last night we've seen an attack by drones from Pakistan, and the official statement that has been given out by the government is that these attacks have taken place, or the attempted attacks have taken place at more than 30 locations, more than 400 drones have been used. My own sense, frankly, is this is more like a probing kind of an operation, because they've carried out this at multiple locations. There is an attempt to look at what our air defense network looks like. Are there any vulnerabilities, weaknesses, along the border? And I think we haven't seen the last of it, frankly. So you should and could expect, more actions coming from the Pakistan military side. So that's my assessment as of this moment. I think they will want to show their own people the fact that they've been struck in the very heartland of Punjab. I would feel that the Pakistan military would be under enormous pressure to show that, yes, we can also retaliate, we can also do something against India. My own sense, and I could well be wrong, is that it would still be limited, more sort of demonstrative, to show their own local population that, look, the Pakistan army still remains the defenders of Pakistan's not only territorial sovereignty, but also Pakistan's ideology and faith. And therefore, we have responded to this big neighbor, India, which they keep saying is sort of an existential threat. So I think they will do something. And they will also be mindful that an escalation doesn't suit them. Considering the sort of political, economic, and internal security situation that they are in. So my guess is, they would try and limit it, but certainly I would expect a demonstrative kind of strike from Pakistan side.
And in a master stroke of military strategy, India effectively neutralized Lahore's air defense systems, leaving Pakistan's eastern front vulnerable. This decisive action followed Pakistan's failed attempts to target Indian forward positions using drones and missiles, which were swiftly intercepted by India's advanced air defense systems, including the Akash Tir. Our next story takes a closer look at how India fooled and destroyed Pakistan's Chinese-made advanced radar system.
In a single masterful stroke, India rendered Lahore defenseless, rewriting the rules of air warfare on the subcontinent. It began with Pakistan's brazen attempt to strike Indian forward positions. In the dead of night, waves of missiles and drones targeted bases from Avantipura and Srinagar to Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Ludhiana and Bhuj. India's air defense grid was ready as projectiles flew from Pakistan. India's integrated counter UAS systems roared to life. Every incoming threat was intercepted, neutralized and reduced to harmless debris scattered across Indian soil. Pakistan's gambit failed spectacularly. Its missiles and drones turned into duds.
Has weapons of ranges which superimpose one upon another, making it a large firearm. At the terminal end are our two heroic guns, which are L-70 and ZU-23. Though they fire just small ranges, but imagine ZU-23 gun spews out 1600 rounds per minute. in just two with the twin barrel. L-70 fires just 300 rounds per minute, but most effective.
Then came India's answer. Swift, calculated and devastating. India initiated what is known as SEED, or Suppression of Enemy Air Defence in military parlance. SEED is the art of neutralizing enemy air defence networks, radars, missile batteries and command nodes. This ensures friendly aircraft can operate with impunity. It's not just about brute force, it's about deception, timing and surgical strikes. Experts suggest that Indian forces may have used drones as decoys, baiting Pakistan's Chinese-made HQ-9P long-range air defence system into revealing its position. The moment the HT-233 radar air, which is a critical node in Lahore's multi-layered shield, lit up, it was targeted with precision-guided munitions. In seconds, the backbone of Lahore's air defence was destroyed. The destruction of the HQ-9P's radar means that Pakistan's entire northern airspace now lies exposed. The second largest city in Pakistan is now vulnerable to further strikes.
So we have replied tit for tat. They did a failed attempt to destroy our air assets on ground and suppress our air defenses. It actually took out a very, very important multi-layered component of air defense, which is their HQ-9B surface-to-air missile system.
And this is the colossal loss for Pakistan. The HQ-9P, supplied by China, was touted as a game-changer system designed to deny Indian jets access to Pakistani skies. Its destruction not only shatters that myth, but also strips Pakistan of its confidence and deterrence without its radar eyes. Lahore is blind. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
India is reinforcing its defense shield after Sukhoi Su-30 MKI fighter jets, the S-400 missile system, a fresh batch of Russian origin Igla-S missiles. Recently, the Indian Army has received new supplies of very short-range air defense systems as part of a Rs 260 crore contract signed under emergency procurement powers to manage rising threats on the border regions. What exactly are these missiles all about, though? And how can they be game-changing as far as India's aerial combat is concerned? For starters, the Igla-S is a portable, shoulder-launched, surface-to-air missile system designed to bring down low-flying enemy aircraft, drones, helicopters with precision, also known as man-pads. The missiles are compact in form and are ideal for mobile ground units in high-threat zones, capable of engaging targets of up to 6 kilometers away and at altitudes of up to 3.5 kilometers, and are expected to operate in mountainous regions and in extreme terrain. The Igla-S missiles are technologically superior, using infrared sensors to detect heat emitted from the target's engine, to sense any kind of movement and zero in on it, much like the ones used in surveillance systems. Its advanced variant is far bolder, offering better resistance and an improved precision. And this is crucial, especially at a time when new systems are being deployed in formations along the western border to meet the evolving dynamic air threat post rising security concerns following the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. While India, on its part, has been trying to develop and fast-track its own version of new generation very short-range air defense systems, they have been met with production challenges. Till that turns into a reality, missiles like the Igla-S can prove to be instrumental in India's countermeasures against enemy threats as well as in securing its airspace. Given the pressing need for portable, responsive air defense, now more than ever. In fact, India has an array of options when it comes to air defense, giving it an edge to thwart any kind of major aerial threats, be it the Akash Tir or the S-400 missile system. They play a distinct and crucial role in neutralizing any kind of threats or attacks. Let's just start off with the Akash Tir system. This indigenous medium-range surface-to-air missile platform forms the backbone of India's air defense systems and proved to be pivotal in intercepting and destroying Pakistan's drones and missiles, foiling Pakistan's bid to target Indian forward positions. Underscoring its role as a formidable shield for India's skies, the Akash Tir system is designed to engage multiple targets at once and can counter both drones and fighter jets with precision. The system integrates data from radars and sensors across the Army Air Defense and Indian Air Force. What makes Akash Tir stand out is its automation. It eliminates manual data entry, allowing frontline units to respond instantly. By decentralizing its functioning, it empowers units near the border to take immediate action while maintaining central control to prevent friendly fire. This system ensures India's airspace remains tightly guarded, even in the toughest battlefield conditions. And moving on to the S-400, codenamed Sudarshan by the Indian forces. Sudarshan, this long-range air defense system, in fact, developed by Russia, is among the most advanced air defense systems globally. It has a radar range of 600 kilometers and can engage stealth aircraft, drones, cruise missiles, even ballistic missiles at speeds up to nearly 5,000 kilometers per hour with a rapid 5-minute deployment time. It is equipped with launchers, radars, command centers and can fire more than 250 missiles. Together, these systems provide a precise and layered defense, reinforcing India's air superiority and sending an unmistakable message. India's skies are well protected and any threat will meet a swift, decisive response. In fact, India has taken a major step towards strengthening its maritime defense. Amid the ongoing tensions with Pakistan, the Indian Navy has inducted its newest asset, INS Arnala, the first of the 8 anti-submarine warfare shallow watercraft, indigenously designed and built by Garden Reach shipbuilders and engineers in Kolkata. The warship has been formally handed over to the Indian Navy at a shipyard in Tamil Nadu. It is no ordinary warship. At 77 meters long, it stands as the largest Indian naval warship propelled by a diesel engine water jet combination named after the historic Arnala Fort located in Maharashtra. The warship has advanced capabilities for anti-submarine warfare and can also lay advanced mines to deter and disable enemy submarines. It is suited for underwater surveillance, search and rescue missions, low-intensity maritime operations. With over 80% indigenous content, the warship upholds India's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision, further underscoring India's push for self-reliance in defense. Its induction also coming as part of a broader strategy to bolster naval strength. In fact, earlier this week, the Indian Navy successfully carried out combat firing of the indigenously designed and developed multi-influence ground mine. This is an advanced underwater naval mine designed to enhance the Indian Navy's capabilities against modern stealth ships and submarines. And days after the Pahalgam terror attack, the Indian Navy successfully test-fired a medium-range surface-to-air missile from INS Surat in the Arabian Sea. India, remember, also has finalized a deal to buy 26 marine variants of the Rafale fighter jets from France. So with the INS Arnala now in the fold, the Indian Navy has enhanced its capabilities to safeguard its waters and neutralize underwater threats, making it clear to its adversaries that it is ready, absolutely, to meet any challenges head-on. Decades of repeated India-Pakistan conflicts. Every time Pakistan has dared to provoke India, and India has answered with the weapon of its era, delivering a lesson that echoes through history, in fact. Our special report now on decisive weapons of choice. How from 1965 to the present day, the Indian Armed Forces punished Pakistan's aggression.
When India chooses to punish, it punishes with precision. Not once, not twice, but every time provoked. India has answered with the weapon of its choice. The response has been swift, brutal and unforgettable. From thundering tanks to roaring fighter jets, from devastating naval strikes to pinpoint aerial attacks, New Delhi has left no room for ambiguity. The message to Pakistan has been loud and clear. Cross the line and you will be crushed with overwhelming force. Pakistan tried to test India's resolve in 1965. It was met with the steel thunder of Indian tanks charging across the plains of Punjab. The Battle of Khemkaran remains etched in history as one of the fiercest tank battles the world has seen. Over 100 Pakistani tanks were left burning. The next lesson was delivered by sea. In 1971, when Pakistan launched Operation Genghis Khan, India responded with Operation Trident and Operation Python. The INS Rajput sent the Pakistani submarine PNS Ghazi to the ocean floor near Visakhapatnam. In Karachi, flames lit up the night sky as Indian missile boats obliterated Pakistan's fuel reserves and naval installations. Karachi port burned for days. India's naval fury was unleashed. In Kargil, as Pakistani intruders occupied icy peaks, India called upon its Bofors guns. With relentless fire, India hammered enemy positions at high altitudes, flattering bunkers and forcing a humiliating retreat. The artillery barrage became a symbol of India's indomitable will. Pulwama was the trigger. India's Mirage 2000 and Sukhoi screamed across the LOC and dropped deadly Spice 2000 bombs on terror camps in Balakot. A day later, in a high-stakes dogfight, India downed a Pakistani F-16. Once again, the Indian Air Force had made its mark, swift, surgical and exact. Today, India's precision weapons have evolved. It used Storm Shadow missiles and AASM hammer bombs in Operation Sindoor, launched after the Pahalgam terror attack to punish Pakistan. Indian fighter jets didn't cross borders but struck from afar with pinpoint accuracy. Terror headquarters across POK and Pakistan turned to rubble. No civilian casualties, no military targets, just surgical vengeance. Masood Azhar fled. Hafiz Saeed is in hiding. India's precision war machine has spoken. Tanks, ships, guns, jets, and now high-tech missiles. Each has carried India's message across the border. The arsenal evolves, but the resolve is unchanging. Those who attack India will face the full decisive power of its chosen weapon. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
India is taking a giant leap in space-based surveillance, and the implications of this could be profound. Over the next 5 years, India plans to launch 52 spy satellites, significantly enhancing its surveillance capabilities from space. And this initiative was with backing from the private sector, marking a major pivot in how India secures its borders and strengthens national defense, especially at a time when the Indo-Pak tensions are at an all-time high. The chairman of the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center has said that the upcoming 52 satellites will bolster the defense sector's reach and precision, providing key surveillance over critical regions. Now, these satellites will not merely orbit the Earth, they will empower the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force with enhanced tools to track enemy movements, monitor vast border stretches, missile launches, and also coordinate in real time during military operations. This kind of situational awareness could potentially help transform India's defense from reactive to proactive, allowing India to stay steps ahead of potential threats. Such is the efficiency of spy satellites that it can even pinpoint small objects on the ground, a capability that has reportedly proven crucial in modern warfare, such as the Russia-Ukraine war, for example. Traditionally, ISRO is responsible for launching any kind of satellites, but in a strategic shift, India now plans to involve private firms and use a combined public-private effort to enhance its defense capabilities. ISRO is also working towards transferring critical technology to the private sector, such as the Small Satellite Launch Vehicle, or SSLV. SSLV helps to launch small satellites into low Earth orbit at short notice, thereby enabling rapid deployment, something which is extremely important in modern warfare. So, by expanding its satellite network, India is not only safeguarding its own sovereignty, but also sending out a clear message. No adversary can act without detection. A denser web of satellites ensures persistent monitoring, allowing India to keep high-risk areas under constant scrutiny. India is making it clear that its eyes in the sky are opening wider, sharper, and stronger than ever before. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. I'm Molly Gambhir signing off. Thanks very much for watching.
Watch me on Token Money Magnet, where I decode tokenization for you only on WION.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Imagine a world where owning your dream asset is just a click away, where wealth is no longer exclusive to the few. Tokenization, the game changer, transforming assets into digital opportunities. A revolutionary technology opening doors to a new era of investment. Don't miss Token Money Magnet, a bold initiative by Kalp Foundation. Only on WION World is One. To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Unlocking the future of finance.
Dive into the world of tokenization with me
as we yield the power of tokenization.
Discover the future of
ownership, where I decode, demystify tokenization for you.
Empowering the tokenized revolution.
Get ready to dive for an in-depth look at tokenization.
Busting the myths around tokenization.
Catch me on Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet only on WION.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan.
It was directed towards non-civilian, non-military targets and confined to terrorist camps.
Welcome back to our continuous coverage of what is unfolding at this moment between India and Pakistan. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start by taking a quick look as to what is making headlines at this hour. Now, Pakistan violates ceasefire at Udhampur, Firozpur, Akhnur along the line of control. Explosions have been heard in the Samba sector, and Jammu as India's air defense systems continue to intercept the Pakistani drones amidst yet another night of blackout. The Indian Prime Minister meets with the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the NSA Ajit Doval, CDS General Anil Chauhan and the three service chiefs, and reviews the continuous violation of ceasefire by the Pakistanis in sectors along the border and the line of control. The Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif says in an interview to a Pakistani news channel that there is no option left for Pakistan other than a full-blown war with India, and stresses that there should be no doubt whatsoever about this. Now, Pakistan has attempted to use civil airlines as possible civilian shields and did not shut down their civil airspace between Karachi and Lahore, even in the midst of the failed drone attack against India. And India abstains from the IMF vote on Pakistan's loan program, citing terrorism concerns. India points out that rewarding continued sponsorship of cross-border terror sends a very dangerous message to the global community and makes a mockery of the global values. The Russian President Vladimir Putin interacts with senior North Korean military personnel after the Victory Day parade in Moscow and extends good wishes to the North Korean fighters. In a message aimed at evangelical Christians, the new Pope Leo XIV uses his first homily to warn against reducing Jesus to a kind of charismatic leader or Superman. All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION this hour. Pakistan, for yet another night, has resorted to a similar kind of attack that it staged last night. Just about an hour ago, there have been sounds of explosions that have been heard in several districts across the Jammu and Kashmir along the line of control. The Jammu city, Akhnur and Rajouri have all reported shelling and intrusion of Pakistani drones. The Indian Armed Forces are said to be responding to the attacks. All of these are deferred visuals of what in fact has unfolded yet again for the third straight night. Now remember, yesterday night is when Pakistan carried out what are essentially saturation drone swarm attacks over the Indian airspace. And tonight too, this is what the scene looked like over Jammu. These are deferred visuals of what is unfolding at this moment.
Ya Allah Rahim, Ya Allah Rahim.
These are images, deferred images from Srinagar that has witnessed a blackout. There were sirens that wailed over Srinagar. The lights were immediately shut down as soon as orders were given that there was this drone swarm attack that was again happening from the Pakistani side. These are definite images from Srinagar a little while back. The Srinagar area was lit up, then it suddenly all goes completely dark. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has tweeted about the ceasefire violation and about the Pakistani attacks. The leader has urged the people to stay off the streets and to ignore unverified information and to remain calm in these pretty difficult times. The similar news has also come in from Punjab's Pathankot and Jaisalmer in Rajasthan, where the Pakistani drones have been sighted as well. In Pathankot, the authorities have again ordered for a blackout.
मिसाइल फूट गए देखे ओहायो 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 क्या बात बड़े
So as Pakistan continues to carry out these drone attacks that are targeting India's civil and defence infrastructure, it's also kept its own civil airports open. Now, earlier, a joint press briefing, India's Foreign Secretary had slammed Pakistan for using civilian and commercial airborne planes as potential human shields while it was carrying out these saturation drone attacks. To give us more updates in terms of what is happening at this moment on the ground, our special correspondent Idris Lone is joining us from Srinagar over the phone line with more details. Idris, over to you. Tell us what the situation is like at the moment.
Well, Saleh, a lot of panic all around Srinagar. We just heard at least 3 blasts in Srinagar. It's cloudy, so we did not really have sightings of the drones, but I'm sure it was the drones which were being neutralized by the air defense system. 3 major sounds blast could be heard in Srinagar city. I live very close to the airport and I could hear it from my place. On the other hand, we're also getting reports which have not been confirmed by the security forces yet that there has been a drone sighting in Avantipora area of Pulwama district as well. Meanwhile, there are reports coming in from Jammu. In various areas of Jammu city, Sambha, Pathankot, there have been multiple sightings and blasts that have been heard from different areas across the Jammu division. In Srinagar, complete blackout right now. All across the city, people have been advised to stay indoors and not panic. This is exactly what had happened yesterday in the Jammu city, where there were a barrage of drones that were launched by the Pakistan Army towards various installations in the Jammu city. And today, it seems they have not only started from attacking Jammu city as well as Samba and Pathankot area, but they've also come towards Srinagar. We're also seeing ceasefire violations at multiple locations across the line of control and international border, whether it's Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri, in the northern part of Kashmir, or whether it's Poonch, Aknoor in Jammu division. Continuous shelling going on from the Pakistani side from last 2 to 3 hours now, and we're being told that massive artillery is being used by Pakistan Army, not only to target the army and security installations, but also the houses of civilians, commercial properties, cars, everything is being destroyed and in these ceasefire violations from across the border. So at the moment, a lot of panic, especially among people who live close to the line of control. But now it has gripped Srinagar as well. After these 3 blasts that were heard just a while ago, we're seeing a lot of panic. People, although observing complete blackout and staying inside, but everyone calling each other to check what exactly is happening. But people have been advised, Saleh, to remain calm as security forces have said that everything is under control. The air defense system is working fine, and if at all there is a drone attack, it is foiled in the air only.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Idris Lone, for joining us and getting us all those details there. Do stay safe, and we'll of course come back to you as this story develops through the night. So as Pakistan has yet again launched these unprovoked drone attacks and also ceasefire violations at the LOC, what is interesting to note is what the Pakistani civil establishment is saying. For instance, the Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif, in an interview that he gave to a local Pakistani channel, now claims that for the Pakistanis there is no option but of a full-blown war with India. Now, he was speaking to a Pakistani media network and he is now batting for a conflict, despite the fact that India has stressed that its military action has only been limited to Pakistan's terror infrastructure. Listen in to what the sitting Defence Minister of Pakistan, Khwaja Asif, has had to say.
Are we staring at a full-blown war now, sir?
देखिए ये मेरा ख्याल है कि ये ऑप्शन जो है अब इसके अलावा अब कोई हमें अवेलेबल भी नहीं रही. We'll have to pay them back in the same coins.
All right, so that is a statement that was made by Khwaja Asif. And also to make sense of what is happening at this moment between India and Pakistan, we're being joined by Air Commodore Dr. Ashminder Singh Bahl, who's in fact served as the Deputy Commandant the College of Airfare in the Indian Air Force. He's joining us live from New Delhi. Now, Commodore Bahl, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. You know, this is the second straight night where we're witnessing these drone attacks that Pakistan has resorted to. The Indian forces, we're given to understand, are taking down these drones one by one. Give us a sense of what this tactic is all about that Pakistan has resorted to, and what are Pakistan's objectives here?
Thank you very much for inviting me to your channel. After the dastardly act at Pahalgam, our response was very measured, proportionate, discriminating between civil, military and terror targets. And we hit at Hizbul Mujahideen, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, all the camps of these 9 such camps we had hit, and we caused really good damage with 100 odd terror elements being neutralized, including 10 members of the Jaish-e-Mohammed founders' family. Now, after this reaction, there was no choice for the Pakistanis but to respond because of their martial image and that of Asim Munir. So what have they done in the last 2 days? They have carried out hundreds of drones of attack, hundreds of drone attacks. For example, yesterday they carried out between 400 to 500 drone attacks on 36 locations. And today they have carried out over 50 drone attacks, starting from Jammu, and thereafter going to Akhnur and coming down to Jaisalmer and some parts of Gujarat. Now, these drones basically are unarmed. It is said that they are Turkish drones. Now, if they are Turkish drones and if they are unarmed, and I have a problem with the Turkish drone also, because the name that they're giving Songa, now this particular drone has only a radius of action of 3 kilometers, which means a range of about 6 to 8. Whereas when we talk of Jammu, it's about 40 to 45 kilometers inside. And similarly, cities like Bhatinda are about 90 kilometers, Jaisalmer about 100 kilometers. So I really think either there is a different version of the Turkish drone or it is an upgraded version, probably. Now, when we say unarmed, why do they say send unarmed drones? Primarily because they want to either see the responsiveness of our station, of our air defense system. Responsiveness means 2 things: the speed of reaction and the ability to detect. So both ability to detect and speed of reaction in shooting them down. And in both cases, we have been able to perform very well, admirably well, and we have shot down all their drones that have come in. Then next thing that they would be looking at is intelligence gathering.
Right.
Now, if you look at Jammu itself, above is Nagrota, just a short distance away is Nagrota, which is the headquarters of 16 Corps. And this headquarters implies that the deployment all around, as well as the ammunition depots that are located over there, or the airfield of Jammu, Pathankot and others. Now, when we are looking at them, the enemy would like to know our deployments, would like to know the status of our readiness, and would like to identify the location of key target systems. And therefore, that was the second objective which I can think of with my own analysis. But what I'm finding it very strange is that after we had struck so admirably well with such precision and with total accuracy, the Pakistani response seems to me confused, chaotic, and also full of, on the spot taking decisions rather than a well-planned strategy. So when I'm looking at them, they are scared. It appears to me they are scared, they want to respond, but they don't want to trigger a full-blown war so that we respond massively with shock and awe, like the Americans do.
Komodo, you say that Pakistan probably is not looking for a full-blown war, but that is in stark contrast to what the Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has just said. In an interview where he's probably talking to his local audience, he's playing to the galleries, but this is what he's saying on record now. He's not talking of de-escalation, he's not talking of trying to bring down the temperature. He says that Pakistan at this moment has no other option other than an all-out war with India. What is happening here? Is he just playing to the galleries, or is there some kind of a strategy that Pakistan is now building up towards?
I wanted to focus at one aspect of the defense minister. He's the most pressurized person. Within his own parliament, he's being harrowed. And at the same time, when we look at what he's speaking, if you remember his statement earlier, when he had said that we have been supporting terrorism on behalf of the Western nations for last 30 odd years, or many decades. So he's tacitly accepting that terror is homegrown in Pakistan and its footprint is everywhere, including Western nations. The second thing of this statement itself, or before this, he said, we didn't shoot down the Indian UAVs because we didn't want to give our location. Now that I personally feel is a very immature statement, because what it tries to tell you is that if you keep sending your drones, which are armed drones, and hit at our radars and air defense systems, we have no problem, you can keep doing, we will not give our location. So somewhere down the line, probably he stumbled over there. And today is that no other option. Remember that our air defense system has been praised even in Pakistan. It is virtually appearing to be impregnable. But what I want to tell you, it may not be the case all the time. See, right now, they haven't yet saturated us. But if they really saturate us with fighters, with helicopters, attack helicopters, and also with drones and missiles and everything coming together, then probably that there would be certain losses, and we should be ready for that. Now, looking at this statement, we may not have any other option. It doesn't mean he wants to come and fight. It means that the situation is such that they have no other option but to fight. But I want to highlight one aspect.
Very quickly.
It's my personal, being in the College of Air Warfare and strategizing, I personally feel that this is a God-given opportunity to us. And when we should not look at it as crisis, we should not look at it as challenge, and we should now focus on how we can ensure that Pakistan never uses terror as a tool in its policy of bleeding India through 1,000 cuts. So this is where I personally feel we have an opportunity, even if we don't want to go for shock and awe, in a step-by-step escalatory manner, let's look at bleeding Pakistan through 1,000 cuts so that Pakistan never ever comes back to terrorism. And I want to just say one
very
more
quickly,
line
we're short
on
of time.
this.
Very quickly, Komodo.
That line is that unless we create fear in the minds of the Pakistani generals by targeting them, or they themselves resign because of the internal pressures, the solution may not be easily found.
All right, interesting. We'll have to see as to how this unfolds. Thank you very much indeed, Air Commodore Behel, for joining us with that perspective there.
Jai Hind.
Now, in a crucial review today, India has abstained from the IMF vote on Pakistan's loan program, citing terrorism concerns. Now, the International Monetary Fund has examined two key lending programs for Pakistan, a $1 billion extended fund facility and also a fresh $1.3 billion resilience and sustainability facility. Now, India has pointed out that rewarding continued sponsorship of cross-border terror sends a very dangerous message to the global community. and it makes a complete mockery of the global values. Now, India raised some strong concerns over the efficacy and credibility of the IMF programs in the case of Pakistan, pointing to its very poor track record in implementing reforms and also honouring the program conditions. Now, Pakistan has been part of IMF programs for about 28 long years, including 4 in just the last 5 years. India has questioned as to why, despite these frequent bailouts, Pakistan continues to seek some fresh funding, highlighting a failure in either program design, monitoring or implementation. Now, earlier in the day, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that India will put forth its stance on getting Pakistan's aid from the IMF.
We have an executive director at the IMF, meeting of the board of the IMF, and I'm sure that our executive director will put forward India's position. The decisions of the board are a different matter. You know the process through which they are made. But I think the case with regard to Pakistan should be self-evident to those people who generously open their pockets to bail out this country.
Interesting. And to give us more updates on this, we are joined by our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Zabil, who's joining us over the phone line. Siddhant, what are the implications of India, abstaining from a vote for funding for Pakistan from the IMF?
Well, we're waiting for the final decisions by the IMF. I'm waiting for the release, basically. But very interesting and hard-hitting statement by India. India basically saying that what's the use of a bailout package to Pakistan? It has a poor track record and misuse of debt finance funding for state sponsorship of cross-border terrorism. Also pointed out to the role of the Pakistani military, which the Indian release says is deeply entrenched, interference in economic affairs, which pose significant risk of policy slippages and reversal of reforms. Also pointed out to the sponsorship of cross-border terrorism, which sends a dangerous message to the global community and exposes funding agencies, donors to reputational risk and makes a mockery of the global values, and also points out to the concerns of the funding being used to support cross-border terrorism, which is something that the Indian statement says resonated with several other member countries. So, all in all, a strong stance by India at the IMF and clear messaging that Pakistan, if it supports terrorism, then it is not going to get Indian support to get a bailout package.
Joining us with all those details then. And with that, it's also a wrap on this edition of our newscast. Stay tuned to WION.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yowon.com.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the US.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch. WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as Pakistan.
It was directed towards non-civilian, non-military targets and confined to terrorist camps.
Hello and welcome. You're watching WION World is One. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast by taking a quick look at what is making headlines at this hour. At least 3 civilians have reportedly been injured in Punjab's Firozpur after a Pakistani drone attack. The wounded have now been taken to a hospital for treating burn injuries, and the army reportedly has neutralized most of the Pakistani drones. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets with the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, the NSA Ajit Doval, the CDS General Anil Chauhan and the 3 service chiefs. The meeting reportedly lasted for over an hour, and it reviewed the continuous violations of the ceasefire by Pakistan in sectors along the border and the line of control. India abstains from the IMF vote on Pakistan's loan program, citing terror concerns. And India points out that rewarding continued sponsorship of cross-border terrorism sends a very dangerous message to the global community, and it makes for a mockery of global values. The Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif says in a media interview that there is no option left other than a full-blown war with India. He stresses that there should be absolutely no doubt whatsoever on this. And Pakistan reportedly attempted to use the civil airliners as a possible civilian shield and did not close off its airspace between Karachi and Lahore, even in the midst of the drone attacks that it has carried out against India. Now, Pakistan has resorted to yet another similar attack as what it did last night. Just a short while back, more than an hour ago, there were sounds of explosions that were heard across several districts of the Jammu Kashmir Valley. The Jammu city, Akhnur district and Rajouri have all reported heavy shelling and intrusion of Pakistani drones. The Indian armed forces reportedly are responding to the attack appropriately. Explosions were also heard in Kupwara and Samba as well. The sirens and blackouts were seen in Srinagar as well.
Ya Allah Rahim, Ya Allah Rahim.
All right, so this is what has unfolded in the Kashmir Valley for a second straight night, where Pakistan has sent its drones across, which are being shot down by the air defense systems of India. And my colleague Idris Lone, of course, has been tracking the developments from the ground in Srinagar and is joining us over the phone line. Idris, give us a sense of what the scene is like at this moment in Srinagar.
Well, Saleh, let me tell you that in Srinagar, just a while ago, there were 3 major blasts. I'm in Srinagar at the moment, and I live very close to the Srinagar airport, and that is where I came out in the balcony, and that is where I heard 3 major blasts. It was all in the air. There was no drone sighting that was visible because it's cloudy here, but it seemed like neutralization of the 3 drones that must have been in the air. We still don't know whether the attack was on the airport, but it was definitely very close to the Srinagar airport. It could have been the Budgam district in central Kashmir, where the airport is located. And Srinagar, after that, is under panic. There is a lot of, because the whole city is under complete pitch dark blackout. People have been advised not to venture out at this point of time. We can see on the main road everywhere there is security. There is Jammu and Kashmir police paramilitary forces patrolling all over Srinagar city and asking people not to panic, because all these drone attacks that are that we've seen in the last couple of hours, not only in Srinagar but different parts of Kashmir Valley as well as in the Jammu city, Samba, Pathankot, everywhere the drone attacks have been foiled, they've been thwarted, but there is a lot of panic definitely among the people, especially those who live very close to the airport. That is where the sound was heard. There were 3 major blasts, and now everyone is up, but there is pitch dark and silence all over Srinagar city as well as in Jammu, Samba and Pathankot. On the other hand, the line of control is volatile. We've been hearing from multiple locations across the line of control and international border. There has been ceasefire violation from the Pakistani side, whether it's Baramulla, Kupwara, Bandipora, Uri sector in northern part of Kashmir, or whether it's the Jammu division, where at multiple locations across the LOC and international border, Pakistan has been continuously firing towards Indian posts, and not only the armed force installations, but also towards the civilian houses and properties that are close to the line of control. Thankfully, people who live very close to the line of control have been moved in the last 2 days continuously. Some of the people who were living in the bunkers very close to the line of control were also advised to move out of those bunkers to safer locations in different parts of Kashmir Valley as well as in Jammu. We've seen yesterday how the ceasefire violation, the massive damage that was done by the Pak army in the Poonch sector, where around 16 civilians were killed. 1 Indian Army soldier was also killed in that ceasefire violation, and property worth crores was destroyed in that shelling. Same is the case in Tangdhar in Kupwara district, where we have seen massive shelling from across the border, destroying houses worth crores of rupees all across the line of control. A lot of people injured, around 60 to 70 people have been injured so far in these ceasefire violations, who have been shifted to the hospital, they've been treated, and people have been advised to stay at safer places. At the moment, a lot of panic all across in Kashmir, but as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Umar Abdullah, also tweeted a while ago and said that there is no need to panic. People just need to stay indoors and stay safe.
Absolutely, indeed, Idris Loan. Thank you very much for joining us and getting us all those details. And to give us more details of what is unfolding at this moment, we are joined by my colleague Dharamjot Kaur. Dharamjot, over to you, tell us the latest.
Well, Saleh, more such news is also coming in from the Firozpur district of Punjab, where a Pakistani drone attack has injured 3 people. Now, out of that, hospital officials are saying that a woman has suffered severe burn injuries and she is in a critical condition. The other 2 people have far lesser critical injuries and they are being treated immediately at the local hospital. Meanwhile, the Firozpur police and other officials have said that most of the drones that entered across the border have been shot down or they've been pushed back into the Pakistani side. And no more such damage has been reported at the moment. Now, it's also important to know that Firozpur is a very, very big city that's very close to the Husainwala Indo-Pak border. It's only 8 to 10 kilometers away from it, and it has been on high alert for the past couple of days. Saleh?
Right, indeed. Dharamjot Kaur, thank you very much for joining us with all those details there. So this, of course, is the latest in terms of what is happening at this moment in Jammu and Kashmir, and indeed along a different number of areas along the LOC between India and Pakistan. So as tensions between India and Pakistan continue to escalate, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has confirmed that at least about 24 airports across northern and western India will remain closed. Now, this was announced last night that airports will remain shut until the 10th of May. But now the date has been extended until the 15th of May. Now, according to the ministry, 24 airports will remain shut till the 15th of May, 5:29 a.m. Indian Standard Time. The Indian airports where the operations are suspended include the likes of Srinagar, Chandigarh, Amritsar, Ludhiana, Bhuntar, Kishangarh, Patiala, Shimla, Kangra, Gagal, Bhatinda, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, Bikaner, Halwara, Pathankot, Jammu, Leh, Mundra, Jamnagar, Hisar, Porbandar, Keshore, Kandla and Bhuj. Meanwhile, the Indian airlines such as Air India and Indigo have also issued travel advisories and have confirmed widespread flight cancellations. Authorities continue to monitor the situation with further updates that are expected on this developing story. And we also earlier spoke to the former Northern Army Commander, Lieutenant Retired General D.S. Huda, as to what his assessment of the current situation is and as to what can be expected from Pakistan, which seems almost hell-bent on going up the escalatory ladder. Listen to what he had to say.
So look, last night we've seen an attack by drones from Pakistan, and the official statement that has been given out by the government is that these attacks have taken place, or the attempted attacks have taken place at more than 30 locations, more than 400 drones have been used. My own sense, frankly, is this is more like a probing kind of an operation, because they've carried out this at multiple locations. There is an attempt to look at what our air defense network looks like. Are there any vulnerabilities, weaknesses, along the border? And I think we haven't seen the last of it, frankly. So you should and could expect, more actions coming from the Pakistan military side. So that's my assessment as of this moment. Show their own people. The fact that they've been struck in the very heartland of Punjab, I would feel that the Pakistan military would be under enormous pressure to show that, yes, we can also retaliate, we can also do something against India. My own sense, and I could well be wrong, is that it would still be limited, more sort of demonstrative, to show their own local population that, look, the Pakistan army still remains the defenders of Pakistan's not only territorial sovereignty, but also Pakistan's ideology and faith. And therefore, we have responded to, this big neighbor, India, which they keep saying is, sort of an existential threat. So I think they will do something. And they will also be mindful that an escalation doesn't suit them. Considering the sort of political, economic, and internal security situation that they are in. So my guess is, they would try and limit it, but certainly I would expect a demonstrative kind of strike from Pakistan side.
A major security flashpoint came into focus for India in the Pakistani drone attack on Thursday, where hours after India's air defense system successfully fended off the attack at 36 different military and civilian sites. The Indian authorities have said that initial investigation has confirmed that Pakistan had used Turkish-made drones in the attacks. Now, the drones have been identified as Turkish-manufactured Songar UAVs. Pakistan deployed them in large numbers, marking not just a tactical provocation, but a pretty concerning escalation in regional drone warfare.
भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने काइनेटिक व नॉन काइनेटिक साधनों का उपयोग करके इनमें से कई ड्रोन्स को मार गिराया। इतने बड़े पैमाने पर हवाई घुसपैठों का संभावित उद्देश्य वायु रक्षा प्रणालियों का परीक्षण करना और खुफिया जानकारी इकट्ठा करना था। ड्रोन के मलबे की फोरेंसिक जांच की जा रही है। प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट्स से पता चलता है कि वे तुर्की के असीस गार्ड सोंगर ड्रोन्स हैं। इसके उपरांत रात में पाकिस्तान के एक सशस्त्र यूएवी ने भटिंडा सैन्य स्टेशन को निशाना बनाने की कोशिश भी की।
The drone attack has also signalled a bigger worry for India, indicating the growing strategic bonhomie between Islamabad and Ankara. The Turkey has openly criticised India's Operation Sindoor, besides siding with Pakistan on key diplomatic and security issues. The Sungar UAV that's developed by the Turkish defence firm Aziz Guard is a compact yet lethal platform weighing about 45 kilograms at takeoff. It can stay airborne for nearly 25 to 30 minutes, operate within a 10-kilometre range and fly at altitudes of up to 2.8 kilometres above sea level. What makes it especially dangerous is its integrated weapon payload, including a mounted machine gun and an optional grenade launcher, making it capable of some precise remote-controlled attacks. The Sungar drone is capable of autonomous strikes and swarm operations. It's also a clear message about the shifting alliances, the shared technologies and the use of cutting-edge systems to challenge regional stability. However, India's layered air defence grid, including systems such as Akash, MR, SAM and S-400 effectively have managed to neutralise the threat, while also highlighting the technological sophistication of the use of armaments in the region. The BCCI, meanwhile, has suspended the ongoing season of the Indian Premier League with immediate effect for 1 week amidst the ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan.
सेनाओं ने जो वीरता का परिचय दिया है, जिस तरह से हमारी सेनाओं ने मुकाबला करके परास्त लोगों को किया है, तो हम पूरी तरह से उसका समर्थन करते हैं और उसके साथ हैं। जहाँ तक नई डेट्स इन सबका सवाल है, तो हम कंसल्ट करेंगे सबसे और नई डेट्स की घोषणा उस दृष्टि से करेंगे।
Now, the Indian Premier League took to social media platform X and said that at this critical juncture, the BCCI in fact stands pretty firmly with the nation. We express our solidarity with the Government of India and the armed forces and the people of our country. The board salutes the bravery, courage and selfless service of our armed forces, whose heroic efforts under Operation Sindoor continue to protect and also inspire the nation. This development comes after Thursday's match in Dharmshala was in fact called off midway through the game. The match in Dharmshala between Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals was suspended in the 10th over of the first innings when the hosts were batting. And this happened while Pakistan had launched drones and missiles towards bordering Indian cities, including Pathankot. The Dharmshala Stadium is in fact located less than 100 kilometres from Pathankot, and all of Pakistan's attempts were foiled by the Indian forces. Remember, the IPL is the richest cricketing league in the world and began its current season on the 22nd of March. And the final was scheduled to be played on the 25th of May, with matches that have been spread across 13 different venues across the country. The Pakistan Franchise Cricket League, the PSL, has also been forced to shift the remaining matches to the United Arab Emirates. A match between the Karachi Kings and Peshawar Zalmi was due to be held at the Rawalpindi Stadium on Thursday, but it was postponed after reports of a drone that reportedly was intercepted close to the stadium. The Pakistan Cricket Board has confirmed on Thursday night that the tournament will now be played in the United Arab Emirates. The decision was reached after several meetings between the franchisees and the PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi, who is also the country's interior minister. A total of 8 matches are left in the season. The exact schedule and venue of the matches are yet to be disclosed. In a masterstroke of military strategy, India has effectively neutralized Lahore's air defense systems, leaving Pakistan's eastern point at this moment possibly vulnerable. This decisive action followed Pakistan's attempts to try and target India's forward positions using drones and missiles that were swiftly intercepted by India's advanced air defense systems, including the Akash Tir systems. And our next story takes a close look as to how India managed to destroy one of the elite Chinese air defense systems that had been given to Beijing to Pakistan.
In a single masterful stroke, India rendered Lahore defenseless, rewriting the rules of air warfare on the subcontinent. It began with Pakistan's brazen attempt to strike Indian forward positions. In the dead of night, waves of missiles and drones targeted bases from Avantipura and Srinagar to Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Ludhiana and Bhuj. India's air defense grid was ready as projectiles flew from Pakistan. India's integrated counter-UAS systems roared to life. Every incoming threat was intercepted, neutralized and reduced to harmless debris scattered across Indian soil. Pakistan's gambit failed spectacularly. Its missiles and drones turned into duds.
It has weapons of ranges which superimpose one upon another, making it a large firearm. At the terminal end are our two heroic guns, which are L-70 and Zu-23. Though they fire just small ranges, but imagine Zu-23 gun spews out 1600 rounds per minute in just two with the twin barrel. L-70 fires just 300 rounds per minute, but most effective.
Then came India's answer. Swift, calculated and devastating. India initiated what is known as SEED or suppression of enemy air defense in military parlance. SEED is the art of neutralizing enemy air defense networks, radars, missile batteries and command nodes. This ensures friendly aircraft can operate with impunity. It's not just about brute force, it's about deception, timing and surgical strikes. Experts suggest that Indian forces may have used drones as decoys, baiting Pakistan's Chinese-made HQ-9P long-range air defense system into revealing its position. The moment the HT-233 radar air, which is a critical node in Lahore's multi-layered shield, lit up, it was targeted with precision-guided munitions. In seconds, the backbone of Lahore's air defense was destroyed. The destruction of the HQ-9P's radar means that Pakistan's entire northern airspace now lies exposed. The second largest city in Pakistan is now vulnerable to further strikes.
So we have replied tit for tat. They did a failed attempt to destroy our air assets on ground and suppress our air defenses. It actually took out a very, very important multi-layered component of air defense, which is their HQ-9B surface-to-air missile system.
And this is the colossal loss for Pakistan. The HQ-9P, supplied by China, was touted as a game-changer system designed to deny Indian jets access to Pakistani skies. Its destruction not only shatters that myth, but also strips Pakistan of its confidence and deterrence without its radar eyes. Lahore is blind. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And with that's a wrap on this edition of our newscast. Stay tuned to WION.
Ready to dive into your daily dose of news?
Bringing you what's trending in the West and all that's setting trends in the East.
And all of this served up with a side of insightful banter.
We don't just bring you the latest stories.
We bring you your talking points for the day.
And while you do that, from the busy streets of New York, I will provide you with deeper insights on the developments through the course of the day in the U.S.
The show that keeps you ahead of the global curve. A conversation you'd want to be a part of.
A place where news becomes an engaging exchange.
We bring you stories that impact your present.
This is World DNA.
Join the conversation.
WION Health Resort is unique, the only one of its kind.
Experience the 4 paths of natural wellness: yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy. Each uniquely customized program improves the whole person to make every person whole. Come to WION Health Resort. Make your reservation at WION.com.
Unlocking the future of finance.
Dive into the world of tokenization with me
as we yield the power of tokenization.
Discover the future of
ownership, where I decode, demystify tokenization for you.
Empowering the tokenized revolution.
Get ready to dive for an in-depth look at tokenization.
Busting the myths around tokenization.
Catch me on Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet.
Token Money Magnet only on WION.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening, as we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
Learn about tokenization, the future of ownership, with me on Token Money Magnet, only on WION.
Vielleicht nur als